Hello, and welcome to Dorchester School District 2. I am Scott Matthews, one of the Directors of Personnel.
And what I'm going to be doing is taking a few moments to go through what's in our Personnel Handbook and highlighting some of the important things in our Personnel Handbook. Everyone will receive or have access to our Personnel Handbook electronically this year, and it will be a link on our district website that you will be able to click on and have access to all of this information. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through it. We are required to go through it in an orientation format, and I will be doing that. There are 8 sections in the handbook, and I'm not going to go through each page of the handbook by verbatim, but what I'm going to do is just highlight some of the important things in each section. Again, I want to welcome everyone to Dorchester District 2. We are so excited that you are joining our Dorchester School District family, and we're looking forward to an outstanding school year. In our Personnel Handbook, in Section 1, we have some general information listed. That's all the things that are in Section 1. I would like to highlight a couple of items from Section 1. Dorchester District 2 is an equal opportunity employer. The district will recruit, hire, train, promote, and make other employment decisions on the basis of individual merit without discrimination of race, religion, color, disability, sex, age, alienage, or national origin as required by applicable state and federal laws, except where sex or age is bona fide occupational qualification. So again, Dorchester District 2 is an equal opportunity employer. Under staff health, the big thing to know here is that all employees, before you can start working in any of our school buildings, you must have the TB test. That is a requirement. Also under staff health, bloodborne pathogens is a requirement as well. A copy of the plan is on file in the office of the school nurse at each school location, and all staff members will receive training at the beginning of the year with bloodborne pathogens. It is one of our requirements for under staff health. We're going to move on to Section 2. Those are the items listed in Section 2. I'm going to highlight some of the important things from our Personnel Handbook, Section 2. All certified employees are required to maintain a valid teaching certificate from the State Department of Education. It is the responsibility of each certified employee to ensure that the Personnel Office is informed of any changes to your certificate. You want to make sure you keep us updated. For example, if you obtain a higher level degree, a master's degree, a doctoral degree, a master's plus 30, you have any endorsements added to your certificate, it's your responsibility to make sure we know so that we can make sure that we properly pay you and other things like that. Also, it's important to know what computes an experience level for teachers. 1 year is at least 152 compensated days of full-time employment, and a half year is at least 95 days of full-time employment. Also in Section 2, we're going to talk about the different types of contracts. We have the induction contract, and these are teachers who possess a valid South Carolina certificate and have less than 1 year of public school teaching experience. Next, we're going to talk about the annual contract. Teachers who have successfully completed the induction contract year may be employed under an annual contract. We also have another type of contract called the annual diagnostic, and it's designated for annual contract teachers, targeted performance weakness or orientation needs, and it's 1 annual diagnostic assistance year is allowed. In other words, if you, the principal and the teacher feel like you're not ready to move on to a continuing contract, they want you to do 1 more year of an annual contract and work on a targeted specific area or weakness, then they can put you on annual diagnostic for 1 year. Once you've completed annual, you can move to a continuing contract. Teachers employed under a continuing contract have full procedural rights. Next, I'm going to talk about employment dismissal provisions. The employment and dismissal provisions do not apply to teachers under induction, annual, or annual diagnostic contracts. Teachers holding alternative certifications will be evaluated following the same sequence required for traditionally certified teachers. It's also important to know that before April 30th of each year, The Board of Trustees shall decide and notify in writing the teachers concerning their employment for the upcoming year. Notices of intent not to renew an employment contract shall be given in writing no later than April 30th of each year. In Section 3, we're going to talk about our support staff and classified employee information. Not all of our employees are certified like teachers and counselors and administrators. We have very important roles in our district of classified employees. For example, our secretaries and teaching assistants and custodians and maintenance workers are so valuable to helping our district to succeed. And here's some information that's very important in regards to evaluation of our classified staff. All support staff employees are evaluated during their first year of employment. So if you're a new classified employee or support staff member in our district, you will be evaluated in your first year. And what does evaluation look like? There are different performance competencies, and they're listed here on this slide: communication, cooperation, dependability, initiative, job knowledge, judgment, planning and organization, and quality. And there's a rating scale for each one of those. You'll be rated on each one of those performance competencies as either outstanding, exceeds job requirements, meets job requirements, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory. That's for all of our classified employees except for maintenance. Maintenance has a slightly different evaluation, and it's listed here. You have two additional performance competencies highlighted there. We've added attendance and punctuality and safety and security because those are important facets that come along with your department. It's important to know that everyone will receive a signed copy of the evaluation at the end of the evaluation cycle. It will be also a copy placed in your personnel file at the district office. After satisfactory completion of 1 year of employment, support staff employees are to be evaluated no less than once every 3 years. In Section 4, the Personnel Handbook discusses procedural guidelines for professional and certified employees in regards to your evaluation process. Induction contract evaluation. In Dorchester 2, induction teachers must successfully complete the induction program and must pass the evaluation to be eligible for an annual contract. Regardless of the evaluation outcome, the district may or may not rehire. Annual contract evaluation. Teachers must be formally evaluated with a process based on adept performance standards and approved by the State Board of Education. At the annual contract level, the district has the right to hire or not rehire. Next, we're going to talk about the continuing contract evaluation. Teachers on the continuing contract still must be evaluated on a continuous basis. Evaluations may be formal, informal, or based upon individual teachers' needs or competence building, GBE or SLO. Most of our teachers, certified teachers, are going to be evaluated using the SLO instrument. It's the policy of the board to remove from employment any professional staff member who fails or who may be incompetent to give instruction in accordance with the directions of the superintendent or who otherwise manifests an evident unfitness for teaching. A signed copy of the evaluation is to be placed in the employee's personal file at the district office, with a copy being retained at the work site and a copy given to the employee. Look at Section 5 now of the Personnel Handbook. It has to deal with staff rights and responsibilities. You can see this is a pretty large section of the Personnel Handbook, and you can certainly refer to this online. We will have an electronic format this year where you'll be able to access the Personnel Handbook at any time online to review any of these policies that we're talking about today. Again, I want to remind everyone that everyone has a personnel file. Each employee in our district has a personnel file which is held in the district's personnel office. And there's a list of some items that are contained in the personnel file. Verification of employment. There are times when we receive inquiries from banks and other businesses wanting to verify employment. We would like for you to know that we do not give out any information about our employees to anyone unless we have written consent from you, the employee. There are times that we have a transfer policy that we may have to use. For example, there are times when we open a new school and we need to move students from one school to another to reduce student enrollment, and sometimes we have to move teachers as well, and we have a process for that. You can see on this slide the welfare of our students and our education process are the primary factors in making these decisions. The transfer procedures used for an opening of a new school are also listed in this section. We also have a transfer list that all teachers will have access to in the spring if you desire to transfer to a different location. It's important to know that all personnel are employed by the school district and not a particular school. Any professional staff member who wants to cancel or terminate a contract must do so in writing. And this is our resignation of certified staff. You need to make sure that if you're going to resign, you need to do so in writing. And you can turn that into your supervisor. For classified and support staff, you also need to notify your supervisor in writing, and we ask that you do that 2 weeks before the desired termination date. Certified personnel reduction in force. There are times where the board may find it necessary to eliminate certified staff positions because of decreases in student enrollment, changes in curriculum, financial exigency, and/or other circumstances as determined by the board. There is a fair and orderly process should such eliminations become necessary. According to the Fair Labor Standards Act, non-exempt employees and support staff, this act includes provisions applicable to school districts relating to minimum wage and overtime pay for non-exempt employees. It's important to note here at the bottom of this slide, all overtime hours should be scheduled and duly authorized by the building or department supervisor. We do have a process here in DD2 for concerns, complaints, and grievances. The purpose is to settle at the lowest possible administrative level employee complaints. So in other words, if you have a complaint or like to make a grievance or have a concern, before we go straight to the school board or superintendent, we have a system in place to try to resolve it at the lowest possible level. For informal complaints, the matter shall be first discussed with the principal or immediate supervisor in an effort to resolve the problem informally. For formal complaints, there are 3 different levels. Level 1, formal complaint is to the principal or supervisor. Level 2, the formal complaint will be an appeal to the superintendent. Level 3, appeal to the Board of Trustees. Beginning with level 1, there are written requirements and timelines for each level. The next few slides are going to deal with sexual harassment. There is a section in your personnel handbook about that. There are definitions there listed that our district recognizes. And it's important to know a couple of important facts here. The district prohibits any conduct of a sexual nature directed towards its employees and shall presume that any such conduct is unwelcome. There are possible sanctions listed there that could happen if you violate this sexual harassment order. And there's a copy of the sexual harassment formal complaint form in the personnel handbook and online at the district website. There's a timeline here for filing a sexual harassment complaint listed. A formal complaint must be filed within 150 calendar days of the alleged occurrence. Employee rights and responsibilities, sexual harassment. The policy of the district forbids discrimination against any employee or applicant for employment on the basis of sex. The board will not tolerate sexual harassment activity by any of its employees. Dorchester School District 2 is a drug-free workplace. No employee will unlawfully manufacture, distribute, dispense, possess, or use any drug on or in the workplace. Drug-free workplace. Workplace means the site for the performance of work done for school district. Workplace includes any school building or any school premises or any school-owned vehicle or any school-approved vehicle used to transport students to and from school. It also includes off-school property during any school-sponsored or school-approved activity or event. Dorchester School District 2 also prohibits staff use of tobacco. Employees of Dorchester School District 2 and visitors shall not use tobacco products in any form at any time in district facilities or in school buses. This policy also includes the use of such products by employees on duty at school functions and activities, and this also includes e-cigarettes and vapes as well. Listed in the personnel handbook is our professional attire. Employees of Dorchester School District 2 are expected to dress in a manner which befits their professional status and is a model for the children in the community they serve. And there is a list of what's expected in the personnel handbook. There are some exceptions. There are times when certain departments may require a specific uniform, and they're listed there, like our maintenance, warehouse, technology, food service. Next, we're going to talk about the use of technology. The term educational purpose includes student-related classroom activities, career development, and high-quality student self-discovery activities. In other words, our technology should always be used with an educational purpose in mind. Next, we're going to talk about unacceptable use of technology. Obviously, we just stated that we need to make sure we're using technology always for educational purposes, which means here are some unacceptable uses: illegal activities, inappropriate language, inappropriate access to materials. We want to have respect for privacy. Do not repost a message without permission. Respecting resources limits, no spamming or chain letters. System security is very important. Never share your password. Staff rights, search and seizure, and due process. Just know when you are using a district computer, everything that you do on that computer can be logged and investigated if necessary. Next, we're going to talk about social media and words of caution. Refrain from accepting students as friends on personal social networking sites. Consider carefully what you put on social media, as once you post something, it is available forever electronically. Refrain from using any type of technology to discuss work-related happenings or issues. Next, we're going to talk about items from Section 6 of the Personnel Handbook, which deals with all the different types of leave. Sick leave. It's important to know that sick and personal leave that is not used may be accumulated up to 190 days if employees do not violate their respective contracts. Employees may use sick leave only for their own illness or the illness of their spouse, child, or parent. Sick leave is transferable to any district in South Carolina. Dorchester District 2 will accept up to 90 days from other districts or state agencies, provided the employment is consecutive and occurs within 6 months following the termination from the former South Carolina district or state agency. Family and Medical Leave Act. Employees are entitled to up to 12 work weeks of unpaid family and medical leave in any 12-month period under the Family Medical Leave Act. The district will continue to pay the district's share of health benefits during the leave. You must be eligible for the Family and Medical Leave Act. An employee who has worked for the district for at least 12 months, provided they worked at least 1,250 hours in a 12-month preceding the beginning of the leave. When FMLA is foreseeable, the employee must notify the district of his or her request at least 30 days prior to the date when the leave is to begin. The district does require an employee to use accrued paid vacation, personal, or medical sick leave for the purposes of a medical leave. Bereavement leave. Bereavement leave shall be considered sick leave. Personnel may use bereavement leave only for immediate family. Immediate family includes parents. Sick leave is transferable to any district in South Carolina. Dorchester District 2 will accept up to 90 days from other districts or state agencies, provided the employment is consecutive and occurs within 6 months following the termination from the former South Carolina district or state agency. Family and Medical Leave Act. Employees are entitled to up to 12 work weeks of unpaid family and medical leave in any 12-month period under the Family Medical Leave Act. The district will continue to pay the district's share of health benefits during the leave. You must be eligible for the Family and Medical Leave Act. An employee who has worked for the district for at least 12 months, provided they worked at least 1,250 hours in a 12-month preceding the beginning of the leave. When FMLA is foreseeable, the employee must notify the district of his or her request at least 30 days prior to the date when the leave is to begin. The district does require an employee to use accrued paid vacation, personal, or medical sick leave for the purposes of a medical leave. Bereavement leave. Bereavement leave shall be considered sick leave. Personnel may use bereavement leave only for immediate family. Immediate family includes parent, brother, sister, spouse, child, grandparent, or mother, father-in-law. Personal leave. It's important to note that when you're requesting personal leave, you must notify your supervisors at least 24 hours in advance. Personal leave accumulates to 10 days, then rolls over to sick leave on June 30th. School business leave. It's important to know at times staff members may be asked to attend, for example, a conference or a workshop during the school day. In this instance, you need to make sure that you get approval from your principal or supervisor ahead of time. Each school will be allotted a lump sum of professional leave days to grant to its faculty members. Special circumstances leave. It's important to note that 5 days of sick leave may be used as special circumstance leave. And there are the different types of circumstances that you may use special circumstances leave. Annual leave. 12-month employees must work 12 months or 1 year in order to be eligible for annual leave based upon their contractual date of hire. Annual leave may be accumulated to 45 days. Loss of annual leave days over 45 occurs in July. Jury duty. Personnel will be excused from work to fulfill jury duty. Oftentimes, when selected for jury duty, the teachers and certified personnel at the building level may request a postponement to a date that does not conflict with the school term. Military leave. Employees of the district shall be entitled to military leave without loss of pay, seniority, or efficiency rating when attending military encampments or schools for training under the proper authority and/or other cases ordered by active duty. Next, we're going to discuss items from Section 7 of the Personnel Handbook, which deals with requests for substitutes. We know there are times when personnel may need to be out for various reasons, and you need to request a substitute. Dorchester School District 2 uses the ASOP automated substitute calling service provided through Frontline Technologies, and certainly we will help all of you new employees get set up with our ASOP automated system. It is important to know that it's the expectation of the district that all employees be present as much as possible to allow for quality instruction and support for our students. Employees are asked to make contact with the principal and or his designee to alert him or her of the absence. There are times when you may need to be out for an extended amount of time and you need to request a long-term substitute. It's important to know that long-term substitutes must be approved by the principal. And now we're going to move to Section 8 of the Personnel Handbook. This is the last section of the handbook, which deals with wages and benefits. A couple of items to highlight here. The district does offer activity passes. Activity passes are issued annually to all interested full-time employees. These passes admit the employee to all home athletic events, excluding playoff games. So that's a nice benefit for our employees. It's also important to note summer and unemployment benefits. All full-time employees who receive a written or verbal contract for the next school year in Dorchester County School District 2 are not eligible for summer unemployment benefits. At this time, this concludes all 8 sections of review of the personnel handbook. Again, all new employees and all employees will have access to the personnel handbook electronically this year. You can refer to it as often as you need to. Certainly, you can contact personnel if you have any questions. We're always here to help you and to support you. It is important for you to know that you are expected to know and adhere to all the policies and procedures delineated in the district's personnel handbook. Following this section of the presentation, there will be an electronic acknowledgement form that you must complete. Please click the link and complete the form in order to acknowledge that you have completed the personnel handbook orientation. We are so excited to have you join Dorchester School District 2, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon.